Good afternoon, this is Chef Reis. Welcome. Making a special dish that's been around the Hilton for quite a few years, at least 30 years. I used to be serving in our Golden Sheaf restaurant. The Golden Sheaf restaurant is a four-diamond restaurant that was around since the hotel opened. And it was around until we changed to 1700. It was a very successful restaurant. It was a lot of lobbyists and the legislative groups, and then we kind of had to change the concept. It was an upscale fine dining restaurant, and one of the items that we had on the menu that was very, very popular was stuffed scallops. The stuffed scallops, and we had it with not stuffed. We had it just a regular scallops with a succotash and a vanilla beurre blanc or vanilla sauce, butter sauce. We changed it. We stuffed it with crab meat. And today I'm just probably just going to stuff with, I have some lobster meat in the fridge. I'm probably just going to make a lobster stuffing. I'm going to stuff with lobster instead of crab cake. Pretty much I'm making a simple lobster cake, or you can make a simple crab cake and then stuff it with that. And then we do a succotash with bacon, some diced carrots, some lima beans, and a few other ingredients, some corn in there, and a few other ingredients. And I also want to start a Portuguese lesson. Savannah asked me yesterday, we were talking about Portuguese and learning the difference between Spanish and Mexican and Puerto Rican. So I want to talk about Portuguese. I am Portuguese, born and raised in Portugal. So the first word I'm going to teach everybody is obrigado. Obrigado means thank you. If you come to a man in Portugal, you say obrigado. If you come to a woman in Portugal, you might say obrigada. Obrigado is for a man. Obrigada is for a lady. Very simple word. Let's start off with the first word. Obrigado e obrigada. Thank you. One very important thing when you eat scallops, if you buy them fresh, you should just put a little salt, just put them over a piece of a paper cloth, paper cloth or a regular cloth, and let them soak. Let them, not say rinse, drain some of the water out, because otherwise you're gonna have a time sauteing them. If you buy them frozen, you can do the same thing. Never run them in the cold water, because they're gonna fill up with the water, and then you're never gonna be able to do a nice sear to them. They're gonna poach. So right now I have them sitting in a paper towel with a little salt, and I'm gonna let them drain real good. And even if you let them drain overnight, 3-4 hours, let them drain for quite a few long time. For the crab cake or the lobster cake, what I'm doing, I took like 1 tablespoon of chopped red peppers and green peppers and some onions. I just sauteed that in a little olive oil, and just lightly sauteed. And I have some lobster meat in it, which I'm going to chop up. So I take all the cartilage out. Instead of using crab meat, you can use super lump, or you can use back fin. This makes a difference. And if you want to go all the way up and get the colossal, it's okay, but you don't have to do that. Most of these, between the scallops, the lobster meat, and the crab meat, are available at either John Gross or Wegmans. And for the crab cake, or for the lobster cake in this case, I took 1 egg yolk, maybe 3 tablespoons of mayonnaise, a tablespoon of Dijon mustard. I'm going to juice of half a lemon. So I got an little Old Bay. And that's we're gonna make the dressing out of there. I'm gonna add this chopped lobster meat, or if you wanna use crab meat, you can use crab meat. So it's about maybe 8 ounces of crab meat in there. Actually, this lobster meat, you can use about half a can of crab meat. Then I got the sauteed peppers and onions, and I'm gonna combine all those ingredients. And then after you mix it all up, you adjust it with some stale bread. You can use whole wheat bread, chopped up bread, or you can use some breadcrumbs if you want to. Just adjust it, put enough in there just to make it a consistent that you can form into a cake. Don't make it too much bread in there, because it's going to be too starchy. You gotta if you don't want any bread in there, just cut out on put less vinaigrette in. Less dressing in there. Then you'll be okay. But it needs a little bit of binder to hold it up, especially if you're gonna make a crab cake. And I just went out in my garden. I picked up some nice fresh parsley. I'm going to chop that up and add it to the cake mixture. And for the second dish that I'm going to make, I'm going to start off with some bacon, or you can use pancetta, but I'm using bacon. I got some carrots, lima beans, some corn, and some peas. If you want to put some red peppers in there, green peppers in there, you can do that. But I'm just going to stick to these since I do have peppers in the mix, in the crab cake. In this case, lobster cake mix. I'm going to skip that. See, the scallop has a little muscle that's attached to the shell. You know, about 3/4 of the way. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to stuff them with the meat, with the lobster meat. This is what they look like after I stuff them. I have some meat left over, so I'm going to make a couple of lobster cakes. I might have them for another day for dinner. And these are the lobster cakes that I had left over, so I'm going to make lobster cakes. And I'm going to make maybe a lobster cake sandwich tomorrow, or just a lobster with some vegetables and stuff. Okay, for the butter sauce, I'm going to take some shallots or onions and reduce them with a little white vinegar and a little white wine. And for the succotash, I'm going to get a nice hot saute pan. And I got the nice hot pan for the scallops, a nice Teflon coated pan for the scallops so they don't stick. And I'll put the pancetta and the bacon into the pan, and I'm going to saute that for a little bit. As you can see, it's sauteing nicely. And I got the butter sauce, the onions or shallots, and the white vinegar and white wine. As you see, the pancetta bacon is cooking very nicely. I'm going to add some heavy cream, a little heavy cream to the shallots and onion mix. I'm going to let that cook a little bit until I see it's starting to reduce a little bit, and I'm going to add some whole butter to that sauce. And it's going to be just keep adding butter, as much butter as I want to. So since I am making a butter sauce, if you don't want to put heavy cream in it, you can just skip the heavy cream, just add the butter to it. The only thing you might be careful of, it might separate easily, so the heavy cream will hold that up a little bit. But you don't have to. You can just add some butter to the white vinegar mix and keep stirring it in and keep turning the heat down every once in a while. When you see it start separating, just keep mixing it. Don't leave it alone. As you can see, the vegetables are sauteing nicely. With the succotash, everything is really nice and hot. And then you see I got a nice hot pan for the scallops. And I'm going to stir the scallops in it very, very soon. I put the scallops in a nice hot pan. Put them down really hot. You can see they're sizzling real good. I'm going to put them over in about a minute. As you can see, I've set them over. I'm going to put them in the oven for about 3 minutes while I make the mashed potatoes and finish the butter sauce. To plate up, I put 3 dollops of mashed potatoes in the center of the plate. I'm going to put the scallops on the top. And this is the final sauce. I just kept finishing adding butter to it. I'm going to season a little parsley, a little salt and pepper. And so far, this is what it is before I put the sauce on. So I got 3 scallops on top of 3 little dollops of mashed potatoes. Succotash right down the middle. This is the final presentation. So it's pancetta scallops with the crab or lobster stuffing, bacon and succotash, and the vanilla beurre blanc, or just the butter sauce if you have any vanilla. Just the butter sauce. You can serve this with a nice glass of Chardonnay wine. Enjoy it, and hope to see you soon. Don't forget to look me up on YouTube and subscribe to my channel and enjoy this beautiful scallop dish. It was delicious too. I mean, it was an amazing flavor. You should buy like U10 scallops, the nice large scallops. So it's easy to stuff.